So obviously, as Joe pointed out, this is a blowout report. They did extremely well on both the top and bottom line. And, you know, this is what Facebook has been doing for a while now. Their past quarterly report, the stock popped 15% on it. It was just, again, a really extraordinary numbers. And, you know, you're seeing them diversify. Joe mentioned live video, that she mentioned Oculus. There are a lot of really interesting things that Facebook is delving into here that really, actually, we don't know a lot about. So it'll be interesting to see on the call if they talk about Instagram and what kind of updates we can get on that, as well as, you know, this live video, which is very new right now, but really could have a big impact going forward.
Jonathan, tell me, do you agree with that?
Well, James is right, and what he also alludes to is that unlike, for example, Twitter, which got annihilated today, Facebook has continued to innovate, has continued to redefine its product and put its consumers, its users, at the center of that experience. And I think that's what explains this divergence. You know, this hasn't been a great environment, a great market, Melissa, for big cap tech stocks like Apple, like Twitter, but Facebook, just after hours now, at a new all-time high. That's a bullish sign, and it's only because this company has not rested on its laurels. It was counted out as being just for kids. It was counted out as being an old, you know, a MySpace in waiting. It has been anything but. And because it's changed so dramatically, it's reinvested and it's re-innovated. That's why the company continues to do so well, even amongst unbelievable competition.
Yeah, Stephen, I mean, there was that emphasis on could they make it into mobile. I mean, that was really the big focus. Now that's where we saw so much of the growth this quarter. What do you think is the next big hurdle?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, and when we're talking about mobile here, it's just fascinating. Just 3 years ago, less than a quarter of their advertising revenue came from mobile. Now it's 80% and probably even much higher now after this quarterly report. So mobile has just been exploding for them, and one of the key reasons why the stock is up so much. And then just getting back to tech in general, if you look across the board, Apple, Twitter, Microsoft, Alphabet, all of these companies reported pretty disappointing results, and Facebook is really the only one here, the only really big tech bellwether that has done well this earnings season.
So, Jonathan, I mean, what do you think is the magic behind that? Because that's something that we used to say about Apple. You know, it's sort of when other tech companies would blame the environment out there, they would blame the economy, you know, they would blame other countries. Here, I mean, you look around the world, that number that we were looking for the fourth quarter, you know, how many people go and log in daily who are users went up to 1.65 billion from 1.59 billion. That's a staggering number.
It is amazing, and you can't put Apple down. I mean, listen, something like 40% of all Silicon Valley's profits this year go straight to Apple's bottom line. So they've innovated as well. But the market, keep in mind, is always looking forward. And I think, unlike Apple, which, for example, has come up with the Apple Watch, but not widely adopted just yet, Facebook's innovations are almost immediately adopted. And essentially, you know, this is an advertising company, and you cannot run an advertising product. You can't roll out a product in this environment without putting Facebook at the top of your list. That's why they're succeeding.
Okay, Stephen, Jonathan, hang on. Joe's got a little more news for us. Let's bring her in. Joe, what do you see in the earnings?
You know, a big whopping number here on mobile advertising revenue. It says a lot about the company. It also says a lot about the broader perspective right now. Mobile ad revenue made up 82% of all advertising on Facebook in the first quarter of this year, and that is up from 73% of ad revenue in the first quarter of last year. So the reason you need to care about this is it clearly shows that this new ad positioning, the types of content through the newsfeed, is clearly working on the mobile platform. You'll remember Mark Zuckerberg saying a long time ago that mobile was not their strength and they were going to turn and fully focus on it. Well, it's clear the money is now officially rolling in a pretty serious way. 82%, that is not a number to be ignored.
Yeah, Stephen, respond to that. I mean, and they've done a lot of innovative things. I mean, they're doing sharing apps with Instagram to drive traffic. What do you think of what Joe just said?
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. And that 82% number is, again, a record high. And each quarter, they keep setting records on this. So growing really strongly there. And something we haven't talked about is Instagram and messaging. And so they're making a big push at their previous conference, F8. They were talking about their messaging service and even WhatsApp and how that is going to play a role in ultimately the business model and the revenue model and everything. And so I think it's really interesting when we talk about Facebook. they're in so many different areas. It's advertising, it's messaging. It's such a key part of people's lives and the tech life right now. And so, you know.
Although, I mean, I would say, Jonathan, you always hear that the kids don't go on Facebook anymore, that this is one of those things they went on, they see their grandparents, they see other people, so many businesses are on there, that it's not cool any longer. It doesn't seem to be hurting them this quarter. Is that a problem going forward, though?
We keep hearing that, Melissa. We've been talking about that. That's been a meme that's been out there for well over a year now. The kids aren't going to Facebook anymore. Their kids are absolutely going to Facebook. That's where the eyeballs are. And unlike Twitter, Facebook isn't just able to roll out new products, they're able to monetize them. They're able to profit off them. And at a time in which all the Silicon Valley unicorns, you know, the multi-billion-dollar companies are taking out and getting shots, companies that actually can monetize, can deliver those results are performing as expected. And that's why Facebook's at a new all-time high and why I think it'll continue to trend higher from here.